Hello, I'm AC Cruz, and this was going to be part of the podcast, but I didn't want to. I just wanted to share it with us, with you. So I want to share the life and legacy of Emilio on his birthday. So many memories, don't you think? So many memories from the people that knew him best. They all came in to do an episode of my podcast. During that time, they were nice enough to share some memories of Emilio Navaira. His brother, Raulito Navaira, David Lee Garza, who pretty much discovered Emilio. It was a no-brainer, a great memory, and funny story from Herrera. His niece and nephew, Destiny and Rigo. His sons, Diego and Emilio IV. Hope you enjoy. So you came across Emilio. Did you come across him, or you knew about him, or what happened?
Emilio came knocking on my door, man. As soon as I let Ram go, one evening, my doorbell rings in my house in Poteet, and I open the door and I think this skinny guy, yeah, can I help you? He says, hey, my name's Emilio. Dijo, Ram called me and told me that y'all looking for a singer. Dijo, and I used to sing with him at the choir. And at the time, AC, tienes coraje porque, you got something going, and then all of a sudden they pull the rug from under you, say, well, Ram, and we're back to square one, and what are we going to do? We got to find somebody. So cuando me dijo eso, Ram dijo que you needed a singer, I'm here. You know what, tell Ram, don't worry about it. We'll find somebody. He doesn't have to send us anybody.
Wow.
Well, man, I wish you'd give me a chance. Well, maybe someday, maybe someday we'll give you a chance. Y así quedó. Dijo, okay. Se fue el muchacho. He was 19 years old, 20 maybe.
And a pharmacy tech para acabarlo.
Yeah, he worked at a pharmacy. And that was 1 week. The next week we didn't play, but we set up like an audition, and we got this guy from Castroville coming in to sing, and some other guys got wind that we need to look for somebody. So they came and they called, and said, hey, we want to try out. Okay, we're gonna have tryouts. So we had tryouts there in Poteet at a warehouse at La Miller Lite. Amigo Raul Hernandez. He said, you can use it here, yeah, after work, ya cuando acabe todo. Yeah, okay. So we went and set up our stuff in there, and these guys came and auditioned, Man, we didn't hear nobody that we said, yeah, we're going to run with this guy. And all of a sudden, pop, on the door, on the big, those doors that come down. You pull them down, those aluminum doors. Pop. And we looked at each other, what's that? So one of the guys went and opened the door with a chain, and opened. Y ahí está el flaquito Emilio. Digo, no, I heard y'all having an audition. I want to try out.
This guy wanted
and my dad says, who's this guy? And I said, I don't know, Dad. He went to my house and said that Ram sent him. And I told him that Ram didn't need to find us anybody. We'll find somebody. Pero ya está aquí. Just give him a chance. Pobre gato. Okay. So, what song you want to sing? Dijo, anyone. De los musicales. Dijo, I know them all.
Ahora sí.
Because we already recorded 2 or 3 albums, with Ram.
Yeah.
So he said, yeah, how about Mentiras or Dos Corazones or something like that.
There you go.
Boom, he started singing, and we looked at each other, and at the time he sounded so much like Ram.
Yeah.
We said, you know what? Let's run with this guy, he already sounds like him. We can kind of take off where we left off.
And you only been out of work for a week?
Yeah, a week or maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That way we stopped playing because we didn't know who we were going to take.
Yeah. He just sounded
sounded so much like him, and we said, you know what? You got the job,
Celebrating the life and legacy of Emilio Navaira.
Ram Herrera talks about missing Emilio and a funny, great memory. Do you miss Emilio?
Oh, yeah,
Sure
tremendously. I miss him. Every time I see Raulito, we talk about it, and we cry about it. We've done some tributes to him, and on the last cruise I went on, we did a little. On the last day, we did a little tribute. We sang some. Everybody sang one of his songs.
I'm going to put you on the spot. And I mean to. Well, no, I do mean to. Can you share with us? Maybe you can't. But can you share a great memory of?
Oh, I got a good one.
You and Emilio. Please share with us.
Well, this was after we both started making it. We were on our own, He had left David Lee, and I'd left David Lee, and he was doing good on his own. I was doing all right myself, and we went to do the Johnny Canales show down in the valley, and I think it was the Johnny Canales. Anyway, Pulido invited us to his house.
Gee,
on a Sunday.
Everybody.
It was on a Sunday, and he invited to his place, and he lived in Edinburgh, un rancho ahí.
He's in a beautiful place.
Beautiful, and And so we went over there, and we were there all day, and and he's showing us a shop where he does all this. He likes to do jewelry and stuff.
Yeah.
Showed us all the animals he shot, his pool room. It was really nice. We stayed there. He goes, hola, prima, mira, buenas noches. Es el cumpleaños de la esposa de Gordo.
Wait. You have to understand. Wait. You have never done a podcast with me. No, wait. Hold on, Ram. You've never done a podcast with me. The people that have been in here do an impression of Roberto Polino. That's why I'm
Well, he was the king at his time.
I
Well,
love
he
it.
was the top dog.
But anyway, so go ahead and give me Roberto Polino.
Yeah. He goes, we had been drinking all day,
No.
And he goes, Emilio, compadre Emilio, es el cumpleaños de la esposa de Gordo. Y vamos a ir a la medianoche, a las 12 de la noche, vamos a ir a cantarle las mañanitas, órale. So it was like 7 o'clock still. We had like 5 hours, and we're just...
Sí.
And we didn't even rehearse it. We knew everybody knows the song. So
Exactly.
So he and Pulido, we driving around in Pulido Suburban, and we go to this little area where there was like a bunch of double wides, right? And he goes, chinga, no me acuerdo cuál es. He takes off he scratches his es una de estas, yo creo que es esta aquí. And it was dark as hell. It was like, hear crickets going and everything. He said he would leave the light on, so there was a light on. So we, out of the one of like 5 big trailer houses there. So we go to the window, we start singing. And then the light goes out on the other one. And it was Gordo. Acá, mundao, aquí estamos. We were singing at the wrong house. Emilio cracked up laughing. He fell down. And he was drinking a beer like that. He got it all over me. And me and Pulido look at each other. We're laughing. We just cracked up laughing, man. It was hilarious.
Oh, my God.
That was a great man. I got a bunch of memories of
I'm
with
sure you
women.
do.
Oh, yeah.
Raulito remembers it well. What year did you and Emilio hook up with David Lee, with DOG?
It was 1984, yo creo.
84.
Ram se salió in 83.
Sí.
So just right after Ram came out.
Sí.
I heard the podcast with David Lee, and yeah, that's the way it happened, man. My brother thought that. Well, I had heard that because we're big Musicales fans, especially because Ram, we knew Ram.
Yeah.
You know, from school. And I had heard that he had left. And I ran home, man, and I told him, hey, Ram left. He goes, no. I go, yeah. So he goes, let's go to Poteet. And yo fui con él. And I was there when David Lee said, nah, and David they were pissed.
Yeah.
I go, well, maybe you shouldn't have mentioned Ram. Yeah.
Have you heard this?
No, I've heard this story.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is that David Lee, I guess he forgot. He had told us, he goes, nah, we're going to check out this guy from Eagle Pass. And they had gone to talk to Gary Hobbs.
I see.
Yeah, but Gary Hobbs had his gig already,
Yeah.
They were probably at the same level at that time. So, you said, come on, let's try it again. And they knocked at David Lee's house, but he wasn't there. And they had said, oh, they're rehearsing. They told us where, so we went over there. And that's when Emilio was banging on the big door. Yeah.
And then you were there también.
Yeah.
Y luego, let's hire him. Because he knocked it out of the park.
Hombre, yeah, man. I mean, Emilio, at that time, Emilio and Ram, their vocals were really close because they sang together.
Yeah, since junior high.
Yeah.
Celebrating the life and legacy of Emilio Navaira.
Emilio's niece, Destiny Navaira.
Yeah, it's just an Emilio song. That was important to me to feature him.
And why is that?
Well, first of all, he's my padrino. And as I grew up, I always tell Rigo, like, I wasn't scared of him, but I think I was intimidated by him, I was, like, always nervous. Like, I was nervous around him because I guess he was, you got to understand, I was born in 92. So that time, as I was growing up, when I was 96, so I would have been 4, when Rigo was born, this guy was a country star. He was a international star, he was like there.
Yeah.
And so here I am, like, at his house, like, holy crap, this is my padrino, like, this is my godfather. And I'm nervous. Like, he would make me nervous because I don't know, I'm such a weirdo. Anyway, so, like, as I grew up, he was here and he was there. He lived in Mexico for a little bit. Well, the last few years of his life, when he came back, we were very close. And I think he missed his family. I think he missed being at home. I think he missed being able to see my dad whenever, to see my grandma whenever. And his last few years of life, we were very, very close.
Did you get to sing with him?
Oh, yeah. There's a couple videos of us on stage.
Really?
That I think there was one time in Houston. But that's where, you know, I sang with him on stage. I would have loved to record with him.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah, he was just...
But then again, I would see how that would be special.
Right. So I think that's why it's important to me. You know, we were very close. Close, not just musically. We were close as a godfather and a goddaughter. He called me every day. At least for the last 2 years of his life, I'd get a call every day at like 7 a.m, first of all, very early. I used to work in New Braunfels, so I would drive by his house. And he'd say, Dester. He'd call me Dester.
Love it.
Dester, what are you doing? He knew I was going to work. Be like, I'm going to work. What's up? You want to skip work? Let's go have breakfast. And I'd be like, are you going to pay my bills, dude? Like, no, like, I got to go to work. So, you know, sometimes I'd stop by after work or, you know, whatever. But, and then my dad, he was so mean. Because he would call him that early, you know?
Yeah.
So my dad was asleep. My dad doesn't wake up that early. So he'd call me and he'd be like, Dester, your dad's not answering his phone. I need his number. And I'd be like, you just called him. What do you mean you need his number? He'd be like, I need it. So then I would give him my dad's phone number, right? Every day. So he's the reason that I actually know my dad's number by heart.
Yeah.
And so if I ever need to get out of jail, I only know my dad's number.
Out of jail. The last thing you need to do is call your dad.
That's the only number I have.
Ever wind up in jail? No.
Oh my God. That's the only number I have. So I'm like, oh my God. But no, we were very close at the end of his life, and he had big plans.
Celebrating the life and legacy of Emilio Navaira.
And finally, his sons, Diego and Emilio Navaira IV. I asked Destiny, and I asked Raulito, and I asked Rigo, do you guys remember exactly where you were when you heard the news?
Yeah, I'd just flown home from Los Angeles, and I had just gotten home. And I was calling him just to talk to him, and he didn't answer. And then got word from Maru, and then Diego was out of town. The guys were doing radio tour.
I was in Fort Collins with the last Bandoleros. We were on a radio campaign. I was in Fort Collins, Florida, and I spoke to him about 3:30 p.m. And just a brief conversation, just seeing, you know, what's up, what he was doing today. And we went out after our radio interview. We went out to dinner, went back to the hotel, and we were watching some NBA game. And Emilio called me, and this was like 3 or 4 hours after I talked to him. And Emilio, he's the one who told me. And those next 24 hours, it was such a surreal moment. But yeah, Emilio's the one who told me over the phone.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. So I'm going to go ahead and move on, guys, okay? When it comes to your dad's music and your uncle writing the songs, what is your favorite Emilio Navaira song?
My favorite song is probably one that neither of them wrote. It's on Southern Exposure. It's called Suficiente Amor.
Love it.
I love that song. Love it. That's my favorite.
That's my favorite song too. Or there's another one that they both didn't write either, called Hubo un Tiempo on Quédate. And my dad just sings the shit out of that song.
Your dad sings the shit out of all his songs, man. He's a badass, man.
You know, speaking of Van Halen and my dad, I will tell you a funny story that not too many people know. When Diego and I were in high school, we went to McCullum High School on the south side. Exactly. So from graduating from playing pretend band to kids to actually getting real instruments, that's all we ever really did was play music.
Yeah.
So when we were in high school, we found another kid that would play bass. And we would literally go to my dad's home studio that he had on the ranch in Von Army. And we would just go there and I don't know if we should say, but we would try to get someone to get us some beer, and we would just smoke cigarettes and drink beer and play Van Halen songs. And one night my dad came home from a studio session, and he was feeling pretty good. And he grabbed the mic, and we played a full Van Halen set with him singing. And I wish we would have recorded it, but I remember it. We played like a full set, man, and he just sang his ass off. And then he just got up and said goodnight and left. And I was like, what the fuck just happened? It was amazing, man. It was like being Van Halen, but your dad was David Lee Roth.
Gotta love it. And I hope you did love it. I know I did. Oh, the family Navaira. The family Herrera. Ram Herrera. David Lee Garza. All these guys remember Emilio on his special day. Your legacy continues. Rest in peace, my brother. I'm AC Cruz. Much love. Be safe.